Today I have for you 25 beautiful Christmas thrift store flips, and I cannot wait to show you. Let's get started. Take this double wine box that I thrifted several months ago. I did a thrift haul, and I believe I put it in my at home channel, and this was one of the things that I thrifted. And so I gave it a good wipe, and then I removed all the hardware to be able to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe, and I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow.
Once the paint was fully dry, I then distressed it just a bit, basically focusing on the edges of the entire box.
It is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas.
And now it's time to put back the hardware. And these are the cutest little hinges I have ever seen. They look like little belt buckles. So cute.
The first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out of nowhere.
Using my Cricut, I cut the phrase "Letters for Santa" and I'm going to transfer it right in the front of the box. When I thrifted it, one of my viewers actually suggested it. They said that it would make a super cute, like mailbox type of decor for Santa, and I thought it was the perfect little idea. And so here I am, and I love the way it turned out.
I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you.
Alright, so now it's time to make a small little arrangement, or kind of like a swag, for the top of the box. I'm going to take these little evergreen picks that I got on Amazon. And guys, a lot of these supplies that I am using is in my Amazon store, which is linked down below in the description box. I'm also going to take this buffalo check ribbon from Dollar General, and I'm going to make a very simple bow using also thin red ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it right in the center of the greenery. I then decided to add some berries. The berries are from Dollar Tree. They are the frosted berries. And I'm just going to cut 2 branches from the pick and then hot glue them to the middle of the evergreen underneath the bow, and that completed the look.
Another year went by, but the difference this time is that
The theme for this video is a very farmhouse look, a traditional black and white look with the red and black buffalo check. I love this look for Christmas, and I think it's going to be the style that I go for this year. So all of these DIYs I might be keeping, including this one, because look how cute it turned out.
since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you.
Check it out. All right, DIY number 2 is this basket I thrifted actually recently, and it was only a couple of dollars, and I thought it'd be perfect for a Christmas arrangement. I am not necessarily making the arrangement today, but I am going to flip the basket and give it more of a farmhouse Christmas look. So after I dusted it and cleaned it, I gave it 2 coats. Actually, it was about 1.5 very rough coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. I wanted to have a distressed look, kind of like the basket has been around for a while, already white. I'm going to take a leftover piece of an infinity scarf from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to kind of measure it and kind of put it around the basket. I want to make a liner for the inside. Once I knew that it would fit, I am now going to hot glue the two ends. That way I have kind of like what it was originally, an infinity scarf, but just smaller. And now I'm just going to drape it inside of the basket and just fold it towards the outside. That way it just looks like it has a very nice linen, or not linen, liner to it.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside.
Once I had it ready, I basically just then made a cut right where the handle is on both sides. That way it kind of wraps around nicely, and then I hot glue them together so it's secure.
We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
I am now going to add more greenery. These greeneries again are from Amazon, and I do have them in my Amazon store linked down below. They come about, I want to say it's like 30 or 40 in a bag, and they're just great quality, but it's also a good size for like smaller crafts like these. So after I hot glue for them, I am then going to make a bow using a ribbon from the Dollar General. This is a red truck ribbon. Since I already had the red and black buffalo check on the scarf on the liner, I decided to use this ribbon, and I think it turned out pretty cute.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas time.
This old basket, actually it's not that old, but I've had it now for about 3 years, and I never found anything to do with it. I got it at Packatans when they were like closing out, and it was just very like, I probably paid less than $1 for them. I got two, and I finally decided to just break it apart, and I'm going to make a super cute farmhouse wooden Christmas tree with the pieces. So I'm going to break it apart, and I'm going to use the sides for the tree. Now they're already all different size. Well, four sizes, I guess. Or four are the same sizes, and then I have three of them. One of them ripped, so I couldn't use. And I'm just going to start placing them kind of like how I see fit, and then using my miter box, I'm going to start making cuts to ensure that I have a tree-like shape. Once I had all the pieces cut, I then took these extra large painting stirring sticks that you can get at the hardware store. I get these at Lowe's or Home Depot, and they have little packets of like 3 for 98 cents. Very inexpensive. I'm going to use that as the stem of the tree, and using wood glue and my electric stapler, I'm going to start placing them about an inch apart from each other. I am now sanding the edges using a 120 grit sandpaper. Basically, I just want to sand down the edges because they are very splintering after cutting them. And then after I was done with that, I noticed that the wood planks were just a little wobbly, so I'm just securing them even more using very tiny 1/2 inch brat nails and my nail gun. Now it's time to just start painting. Of course, I'm going to paint it white because that's the theme that I'm going with today. And I want this to have a very farmhouse look. So I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. After the paint was dry, I am going to use my electric sander and I'm just going to sand away. I'm basically focusing more on the edges, but I don't mind if if it distresses all around because I am looking for a distressed farmhouse look. Again, staying with the theme with the red and black buffalo check, I'm going to use more of that ribbon from the Dollar General. I'm going to make a very simple bow once again. And I'm also going to make like a multiple strand bow. It's like a very loose bow using Dollar Tree, oh my gosh, nautical rope. If you separate the strands from the rope, you get the smaller like strands and they have like this natural kind of curl to it. So I'm going to use one of the strands of this leftover piece of the rope and I'm going to make, again, a very loose multiple strand bow. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the tree and then place the buffalo check ribbon or buffalo check bow right on top of it. And then I'm going to separate the strands of the ones that are just going to be falling down just to give it a little bit more character. So I realized that I never did anything to the bottom, to the base of the tree to keep it from falling. So I got these two little cubes of a set that I got on, I think it was Target, yes, Target Dollar Spot several weeks ago. And I'm just going to take two of them and I'm going to use hot glue and E6000 and glue them, one to the front and one to the back. That way it'll keep it from falling forward or backwards. And then we'll be done with this one. I think this one turned out so cute and what a wonderful way to use a basket that literally was on my shelves for the longest time and never ever used. I'm going to take this door. This door I did not thrift. It was given to me by a family member who was getting rid of two of these actually, and this is just one of them. So I cleaned it very well, and now I'm going to give everything, including the glass, two coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love.
Once the paint was dry, I am now going to distress. It's basically going to do the same thing, just focusing on the edges and very, very little on the wooden part. I did not distress the glass part. I didn't even sand it down because I did not want to risk it just breaking or anything like that. I then took it outside after I dusted it, and I'm going to give it one coat of this top coat from Rust-Oleum. It's very clear. I just want it to be protected, and that bug was in the way. So basically just one coat, let it dry. That way it'll seal everything in, especially in the glass. That's the part that I wanted to make sure it was nice and sealed. Using my Cricut, I cut out all of these little pine trees. I think they look absolutely beautiful in the black. I took the design from Cricut Design Space and I purchased it from there. And then I cut and paste several of them after I measured and knew what size I needed. And now I'm just going to transfer them to the bottom of the sign.
And while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire, 'cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me me give you a Christmas moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you.
I also cut a Farmhouse Christmas. Farmhouse has, they're both different fonts, but this was actually inspired by a Pinterest sign that I saw recently, and I thought it would be super cute for this sign. So I'm just going to transfer them to the middle of the sign and then start working on the Christmas arrangement.
I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. Ooh. I'm making plans for what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents.
Right, I'm going to take these Dollar Tree garland ties. I believe I grabbed 5 of them, and I'm just going to tie them in the middle using some Dollar Tree ribbon. And then just going to start placing things again, just to go with the same theme that we've been going. I'm going to use some buffalo check ribbon. I'm going to use more of these greenery picks and start placing them. I'm going to use more of the frosted berries from the Dollar Tree. And then I ended up using a smaller, thinner burlap style ribbon from Dollar General. Made a smaller bow to glue in the middle, or not glue, but kind of put together with the other bow. It just adds a little bit more character and another layer of texture. And that's all I'm going to be doing with this one. And then I'll hot glue it to right underneath the handle of the door.
And drink our chocolate by the
I often sell my crafts as bundles since I usually create them all with the same kind of style and the same theme and color scheme, and I usually sell them, but these I'm going to keep because I'm convinced that this is the style I'm going to go with for my Christmas decorations this year, and all these turned out cute. And this particular sign I am hoping to put right above my fireplace. So if you have not subscribed to my home channel, I ask that you consider doing so. That way you can see when I do the decorations for Christmas here in maybe about a month or so. Alright, so I am just about done with this one. I'm just going to cut the ends of the bow, hot glue it to the center, and then we'll be done. And guys, I am in love with this sign. It is so oversized and it's just perfect.
Let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows in the rain.
First, I want to tell you about where I'm getting these decor. So a friend of mine, she's actually a family member of mine, who is just been cleaning out in her home and doing some changes. She's been finding all these like older home decor that she has no use for. She contacts me and she asks me, hey, do you want them? And I always say yes, because I can always do something with them. So these 4 items that I am going to be redoing, repurposing are the ones that she gave me. So this first one here is a beautiful happily ever after one that she had. It was beautiful as is, but I wanted to give it a Christmas farmhouse look. So I painted it white, gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint and a linen white. And now I'm going to take this $3 Target dollar spot wreath. I just recently found them and it is beautiful. I wish I would have gotten more. I got 2 of them, but I wish I would have gotten more because they're stunning. I'm going to hot glue it in place to the right side of the sign. I am now going to take this Santa sled ornament from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the Santa off of it and I'm going to hot glue it right to the center of the wreath.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
I am going to recycle the little ribbon ribbon, I guess, that the wreath had originally. And I'm going to make a very simple bow. And I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the wreath. Now, I'm still not sure about how this little bow looks here because it almost looks like Santa has this bow on his head. I left it on, but tell me in the comments what you think. Should I move it or maybe put it on the bottom? I don't know. I just thought it looked kind of silly, but I left it on because I wasn't sure quite yet.
The snow is falling down and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around.
Using my Cricut, I cut out the phrase, Santa, please stop here, and I am going to transfer it right onto the other side of the wreath.
Everything will be okay, 'cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out of nowhere, just us and no one.
To finish it off, I'm going to add a piece of rope. This rope particularly here is from Amazon, but you can certainly use Dollar Tree nautical ropes. They work really well, and I have plenty of them, but I just had this one available. Yeah, I'm just going to attach it to the back using staples, and we'll be done, guys. I honestly don't know which one is my favorite out of all these, and I know I say that all the time, but this one's high up there on the list because it is stunning. I just love the way it turned out.
I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time.
I'm going to take this round piece of wood. Again, this is something that my friend gave me, and I mean, seriously, right? I mean, it's gorgeous. You can find this at the hardware store, but you could tell it had a couple of scratches. I did not mind. I just think things like that have more character. I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and then again using my Cricut and a design, the little reindeer there I bought from Cricut Design Space. I cut out this sign that says North Pole Reindeer Farm. I thought it'd be super cute to do something with reindeer. I'm going to transfer it to the center, but a little bit higher up. All right, now it's time to start working on an arrangement for underneath the reindeer. I'm going to take these garland ties from the Dollar Tree. I believe I got 5.5. The other half I'm using to tie in the center. And then I'm just kind of forming them and placing them where I want. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the middle bottom portion right underneath the reindeer. After I start hot gluing, I'm just going to start adding different things. I'm going to add a ribbon, a double loop ribbon using ribbon from Dollar General. This is just a beautiful, very farmhouse striped kind of ribbon. I'm going to double loop it and then just make a simple bow, hot glue it to the center of the arrangement. take this pick from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use the pine cones that are on it. They have like a frosted look to them. Really cute. I'm just going to put one on each side. I'm going to add, these are frosted berries from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to add a couple picks to each side of it as well, just hot gluing it to the center. And we're all done with this one, guys. I added a claw hook to the back so it can be hung. And I just love this one too. Actually, this is my husband's favorite. I'm going to take this snowman. It's cute as it is, but I want to give it a whole new look and a whole new life. I'm going to remove everything from the top. I mean, everything.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
I used my electric sander to kind of smooth out it. Some areas had like a little bit of glue here and there. I just wanted to smooth it out as much as possible. But as you can tell, this piece of wood or this sign had a lot of texture. I mean, it's probably one of the most texture I've ever seen in a sign. It almost reminds me of tree bark. So I am going to give everything 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse red. It looks pretty bright red, but it does darken up a little bit when it dries. After the 2 coats were on, I wanted to add like a Christmas tree farm kind of sign. Now, normally I go with the black and white, and I wanted to do something different for this one. So I painted it red, and then I'm going to use the stencil that I created with my Cricut, and I am going to dry brush. When I mean dry brush, I mean like very little amount of paint, the letters on it using white chalk paint. Now, I am super concerned here because again, there's so much texture on this piece of wood that I was afraid there's going to be a lot of bleed through. So I'm really trying my best to really get that stencil really stuck in there to avoid any gaps and then the paint getting through.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart.
As I started removing it, I realized how awesome it looks. So I was so happy. There was no bleed through, and I think the key was to make sure that the stencil was as stuck to the frame as possible, and then just dry brushing, very little amount of paint on the brush. So I am going to start adding some trees. I got these ornaments at the Dollar Tree, and they're just beautiful. They look like, evergreens filled with tons of snow. I thought it would be very appropriate to hot glue them to each side of the sign. I'm going to clip a few of them, make them different sizes, so there's a little bit of like a size differential between each tree. I hot glued them, but I'm going to be very honest here. They did fall off, so I ended up having to taking the glue off, yes, and then gluing them with E6000.
But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the January. Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart.
To finish it off, I'm going to drill a couple holes on each side and then add more of that rope from earlier, knot it in the front, and this one will be done, guys. This is completely different of things that I make. I love the red. I love the very traditional red and white Christmas look to it, but it yet has that farmhouse kind of like distress look to it that I love. And talk about texture. Whew, this sign has tons of it.
We can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas time. good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year
American flag sign. I think it's super cute as it is, but once again, I just want to do something different and give it new purpose. So I'm going to remove the back hanging portion of the sign, and I'm also going to remove the stars. These are a little harder to remove, and they did leave a little bit of a like a little piece sticking out, and I tried sanding it with the electric sander, but it didn't it didn't remove because it is metal. So I even though I tried and it maybe smoothed it out a very tiny bit, not much. So I just ended up leaving it as is. I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint, linen white, and then let it fully dry.
let's go outside. The snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands.
All right, once again, using my Cricut, I cut out the word joy. These are very thick words, or not words, letters. I wanted to have them be very thick because the key to this one here is I want to start placing the letters inch by inch, starting on one end. So that way I can fold them within each crease of the sign, and it just looks like it just belongs on this sign.
Keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents, as long as I spend this day with you.
For the O, I started in the center and worked my way out because I wanted to make sure that each space in between each letter, it's about, or as close as possible to about the same.
So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I'm making plans for what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you.
All right, so now I'm going to take this scarf from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to fold it until I have a size that fits the width of the sign. After I cut it, I folded it in half and then cut out a V shape to give it that Santa hat look.
Give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents, as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. Ooh, and in a while we're gonna go inside and
I then closed up the seams using hot glue. It does not require much glue, just a little bit goes a long way.
chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas.
I am now going to take this Dollar Tree dusting mop. Actually, this is a piece of it. Have you seen me using them? If you've seen my recent videos, I use these quite a bit. They're lovely for Christmas decorations. I had a piece left over, so I cut 2 pieces to match, and I'm going to hot glue them to the bottom of the hat and that'll be the nice little fuzzy area on the bottom of the hat.
Moment we'll fill with love and joy. Loving so beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you.
I added hot glue to each side and just kind of press down on the sides of the fuzzy area. That way it just closes them up. I'm going to take a smaller little leftover piece. I'm just going to hot glue it to the top, and that's going to be the little fuzzy ball at the end of the hat.
Last year I thought about how things can come around just like that if everyone is here to celebrate one day. We have our ups and downs, but when there's love, there's always a way. And oh, this time of year we come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling.
Now I'm going to place the hat on top of the sign, just being very careful that my seams don't open up because it's just a metal piece. Once I have it where I want it, I'm going to hot glue it in place.
And it is cold outside. We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday. It means so much more than words can say. And I claim that Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget.
I then folded the top towards the bottom and hot glued it in place.
Glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day.
And now it's time to add some little embellishments. These pine tree or evergreen picks, I should say, are from Amazon. I got them recently for my Christmas season here. I do have them in my Amazon store, which is linked down below. I do have a lot of my favorite supplies from Amazon in that store, so if you want to check it out. I then added some additional Dollar Tree decor, like a little ball and the little frosted berries once again, and a little pine cone. And that's it, guys. I mean, this one turned out so cute. What a difference. I mean, I just, it was already nice as it was with the flag, but I just wanted to give it a Christmas look, and I think it turned out so stinking cute. I'm going to take this Dollar General sack. It's like a Christmas, like an old-fashioned Christmas gift sack where you can fill it with toys, zip it up or tie it up, and it would make, just a cute little decor. I bought 2 of them. They were a little bit on the expensive side, and I say that because I don't like buying things that are over like $5. But it was $7, but the size is humongous. Now I am going to take off just the front portion. I'm just going to cut it off, and I am going to make a sign off of it. Now I'm going to keep the rest because it has this really cool drop cloth kind of material, but thinner, so more manageable. And I think I can use it for other DIYs. But for now, we're just going to use the front portion where it has the Christmas decorations or the Christmas writing. I'm going to pull the sides just using my fingers and my fingernails. This is just to fray the edges just a little bit to give it more of a rustic farmhouse look, which is the look I'm going for all of these DIYs today. All of these are going to have a very natural rustic look, and I want them to all have the same kind of look so that they can all be together almost as a set. This board here I got recently. I thrifted at the thrift store. It was $3. It is pretty big and heavy duty. It's solid wood. I want to say it was part of a cabinet door or something like that because it had like a handle, or it was just, I'm not sure what it was, but I do know that I'm really happy I got it. I hot glued the let's call it sack, right? I hot glued the sack to the board, and now I'm going to take these upholstery tacks and I'm going to hammer 4 of them, 1 in each corner.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean.
So now I am going to take several little twigs and picks that I have. This twigs I got off of a whole bunch that I thrifted last year for winter decor, and I have a ton left over. So I just cut off a few pieces, and I'm going to take a couple of these branches from a pick I recently got at the Dollar General, and I'm going to create a little swag for on top of the board of the frame. And I'm going to tie it together using ribbon from the Dollar General.
Isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the Sanctuary. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart.
After I hot glued it to the top, I'm just going to make a very simple bow using the same ribbon. This is a kind of like a burlap red ribbon from the Dollar General. It's beautiful and it's really easy to work with. I'm just going to, again, simple bow, hot glue it to the center. And then I'm going to add a couple pine cones. These are frosted pine cones from the Dollar General as well. And hot glue one in each side of the bow. And that's it for this one, guys. It's lovely. I love it. I think it's my favorite from today, but there's a couple that I really, really love. But this one's up there high on the list.
And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset, it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the Sanctuary. Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Here we go. All right. Dance, dance, now this Christmas, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance, dance, dance. Come on. Dance. We're gonna dance, dance, have a good time. Dance, dance, all night long.
I'm going to take this wreath that I thrifted recently. It was this year. And it was just neglected. You could tell that once upon a time it was beautiful and it had, like maybe like very bright Christmas colors on them. But it was just a mess. So I took everything off of it and then I fluffed it very well. We all know rule number one with Christmas decor is fluff those bristles. So I am just fluffing as best as I can. Some of the bristles were really tightened and scrunched up, but this is one of my favorite things to do for Christmas decor is just fluff and get all of them nicely stretched out and just where I want them. So the theme for this video today is having very farmhouse kind of Christmas decorations with a little bit of just no, oh my gosh, traditional colors. There you go. So one of the things you're going to see on all the decor today is a combination of traditional Christmas greenery with these lamps here that I get at Walmart. I get them a bundle of 2 picks for $2. So far, I just think they're just one of the best quality. I have gotten them on Amazon too. They do have great ones too. But I just think Walmart ones are just very nice and a good deal. So I'm just going to put a few there around the wreath. And then I'm going to take these berries from the Dollar Tree and do the same thing. Just place them and hot glue them around the wreath.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm
I am now going to take this Merry Christmas ribbon from the Dollar General. It's 30 feet by 2.5 inches wide, and it's $5. And let me tell you, this ribbon is beautiful. All right, let me also tell you about these pipe cleaners from Artisa. Artisa sent me all of these pipe cleaners. I was blown away when I saw how many come in a packet. I am so thankful for Artisa for sending them to me. I am having a blast using them. They're just great quality, all kinds of colors so that I can use with all my decor every season. And even my daughter is using them and we are just loving them. So I'm going to have a link down below where you can get them very inexpensively. And yeah, check it out. It's down in the description box. All right, so this ribbon, I am just going to just weed through the wreath. You know, you've seen this before, right? You tighten, yeah, here and there, and then you just kind of weed the ribbon through. And I'm going to do that all around the wreath.
But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else.
I am now going to create a bow. This is going to be a multiple loop bow. And because the ribbon is just one-sided, I have to twist in the middle every time I loop. So I'm just going to scrunch up and twist and create, like I said, a multiple loop bow and then tie it with another pipe cleaner from Artisa.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it
I then just placed the bow very simply on one of the ends of the wreath. It didn't matter. I just put it in between of the decorations there, and then just make sure that I fluffed and tucked as I saw fit. I then thought something was missing from it, so I wanted to add some frosted pine cones from the Dollar General. These are a pretty good size, and you get a few of them in a little packet for $1. And I'm just gonna hot glue them where I see that it needs it.
is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything to be perfect for this.
And we're just about done with this one, guys. And I can't believe how beautiful this wreath looks. It just got a brand new life. And I can't believe this wreath was just a couple of dollars at the thrift store. And just adding a few very inexpensive decor items. Now it's just beautiful and high-end looking.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
All right, guys, so I'm going to take this cutting board that I recently got at the Habitat for Humanity thrift store. I actually got two of them. And this one is just beautiful. They're solid wood. I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And if you can't tell there, I am going to brush in an outward motion. That is to avoid any dripping on the sides because I want the sides to remain these wooden tone. Because the back side has this beautiful like measurements, very original, and I want to keep that, but I also want to have the sides have that natural wood tone. So I'm just going to brush on an outward motion, as you can see. That way I'll avoid any drips on the side. Once it was dry, I'm going to distress it using my hand sander and a 120 grit sandpaper. Now it's time to add some greenery. I'm just going to take these Dollar Tree garland ties. I'm going to cut them in half. And I'm going to make a small little arrangement to put on the neck of the cutting board. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a ribbon, and I'm going to add some more of that lamb's ear just to keep it all in the same theme and style.
Here comes the jolly season again with the sleigh bells and choirs singing. But I hear no church bells ringing out for me. This year I've been nothing but good, Santa Claus. I hope you to see and put some big fat golden stars in your book for me. Tell me, Santa, is Christmas all about love? In that case, can I have the one that I've been dreaming of? Tell me, Santa, is Christmas about love? It's the only thing on my wish list that someone special to kiss.
I'm not going to take this joy ornament from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to just hot glue it to the bottom right of the board. I thought about using a stencil or a decal for using my Cricut, but I just thought this little joy ornament was so cute, and it has that red buffalo check style that I really love for this year. And look how stunning this board turned out.
People of today need the latest stunt, even stocks up to believe that someone can we please agree this is someone, you and me. And I think I've got more than enough just by walking
As for
around.
my next DIY, I'm going to use these candle holders. I thrifted very recently as well. They're actually pretty heavy duty. They look plastic, and they are plastic, but they're actually pretty heavy, so I was happy with them. I'm going to give them 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white.
It's white outside.
I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to drill a hole right in the center. It took me a little longer than what I thought to drill this, but man, when it went through, it went through. It scared me. There, I have it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it worked. I'm going to take one of these Christmas trees from the Dollar Tree. Originally, I thought I was going to need 2, but I ended up just needing one of them. I'm going to fluff it once again. Fluff, fluff, fluff. I'm going to fluff it. Now, we all know these trees are very scarce when it comes to bristles, so I am going to fluff and then add additional garland ties around them just so that it looks as full as possible. I'm going to drop a whole bunch of hot glue in the hole that I just drilled, and I'm going to stick the tree right in there.
And the night.
The tree was kind of wobbly, so I'm going to stuff some of this floral foam from the Dollar Tree just to tighten it up. I also did add a whole bunch of glue, of hot glue right over it. So then, of course, here I am adding those extra garland ties just to make it a little fuller.
It's cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas. It's a magic time. You can feel it in
And then once again, to keep in the same theme, I'm just going to add some of the leaves from the lamb's ear. And here's a different look for you. Oh my gosh, what a mess my studio is half the time. Actually, more than half the time.
that every child got their hearts filled up with joy. Yes, it's Christmas all around. Oh, snow is falling down, all the colored lights
And I also added some of those same berries I've been using in all these DIYs.
lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing.
cover up the bottom base and all that glue and stuff that I added there on the bottom, I'm just going to take some of that same Merry Christmas ribbon from the Dollar General. I'm just going to wrap it around, nothing fancy, just wrap it around to cover it up, hot glue it in place. And then I'm going to make a very simple double loop bow here, and again using Artisa's pipe cleaner ties, and just make a simple bow, hot glue it to the base of the tree.
Is a time to cheer. Let our loved ones, our family and friends have a Christmas with so much love and with joy and laughter. Let us make memories that stay forever. It's Christmas today.
And to finish this one off, I'm just going to add a little pine cone to the center. This little pine cone comes in a little packet of a whole bunch of them at the Dollar Tree for $1. Super cute. Alright, so this is just one of the candle holders. So for the next one, I'm going to keep it again in the same theme, same style, but I want this to look like they belong together, even though one of them is going to be a tree and the other one's going to be a candle holder. I'm going to take some of this garland from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to loop it twice in a little mini tiny wreath looking form to fit the same size of the top of the candle holder, and then I'm just going to hot glue it to the top.
All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
And you know it. I'm just going to add more of the lambs here and berries to keep it cohesive with the rest of the decor. And we're done with this one. I added a pillar candle from the Dollar Tree. Look how beautiful these two look together. And to think that these candle holders were just a couple dollars. They got new life, new purpose, and with a few Dollar Tree items, I made it look super cute and custom, and I love the way they turned out.
All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside,
I'm going to take these thrifted spindles I got at the Habitat for Humanity. I marked kind of where I wanted to make cuts, and I'm going to mirror those marks on the second one. And then I'm going to take it outside, well, out into my garage, and cut it with my miter saw. Once I had all the pieces cut, I am going to give them 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. These are going to be very farmhouse style, extra large ornaments for my Christmas tree this year. Once the paint was dry, I am going to heavily distress these ornaments using not a 220, this was a 60 grit sandpaper. Again, it's going to be pretty heavily distressed. If you're going to try to make this DIY yourself, you don't have to distress them. You can just paint them and do whatever you want with them. My tree this year is going to have a very farmhouse, rustic look to it, so I want to keep these very farmhouse-ish. So the coats of paints that I did was very rough. You know, it wasn't perfect, but because I knew I was going to heavily distress them.
I can see them now. It's like they spell your name.
I am now going to drill holes right on the top of each one, and that's so that I can add some eye hooks to them, and I have something to hang them from.
It's insane. Now we're back here once again. Holidays and cheer. But now I got my eye set on you. I'm not gonna play it safe. I'm not gonna play it safe.
I'm going to give them a little hanging rope there using this Dollar General red little tiny rope. Very simple. Just add, I don't know, maybe about 4 inches of the ribbon and then just tie it on the top. And I'm going to do the same for all of them. I am going to add a little bit of decorations on most of them except two of them. And they're all going to be different, but yet still staying within the same theme I've been going with throughout all of these decor. And I so love the way these turned out. Oh my gosh. We are just about done with these ornaments and I'm so happy I get to keep them and not sell them because I'm excited to get them on my tree this year.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down, and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love.
This grapevine wreath that I thrifted several weeks ago. I am just going to start placing hot glue and moss everywhere in the front of the wreath. So not too much on the side, maybe a little, but nothing on the back for sure. And some in the middle kind of section as well. And yeah, that's it. I'm just going to try my best to kind of make it as natural as possible. So making sure that this moss looks like it's been growing on this wreath. So just kind of pressing it in there and again just making it look as natural as possible. Once I was done placing the moss, I am now going to take these frosted evergreen picks. I've had these for several years. I have like one, maybe two left, and I just thought it would look perfect with a contrast of the frosted green on top of that beautiful hunter green. And I'm just going to hot glue them to the right side of the wreath. I am now going to take this Dollar Tree ornament. It's one of those that have the reindeer. And I'm just going to hot glue it right where all of those evergreen picks meet. I decided to add a couple smaller frosted evergreens right underneath the reindeer. I just thought it needed a little something there. And then now I'm just going to add a pine cone here and there just to kind of finish it off and just add more of that rustic tone to it. And once I was done with the pine cones, it's time to add a ribbon to it so that I can hang it. Now this is on the thicker side, but I just love how, again, natural this burlap ribbon looks. This is from burlapfabric.com. I'll have their link down below. I'm going to scrunch it up just a little bit just to kind of make it fit better. And please tell me what you think about this wreath. I am absolutely in awe on how beautiful and organic this wreath looks. It just has a, I don't know how to describe it, just very natural look, and I really, really love it. For this next DIY, I'm going to take this thrifted board. I believe it was part of maybe some sort of like cabinetry. It is absolutely solid wood. This is actually one of two that I got. I recently did another DIY with the other board, and I can link it here in a card for you if you're interested in watching that. But I used my Cricut and cut the design. It's North Pole Reindeer Farm, and then I used one of Cricut Design Space reindeer designs, and I used that. So I'm just going to place it right on top. Guys, a lot of my supplies that I use, including my vinyl, my transfer tape, paint, my favorite tools, I have them in my Amazon store. It is linked in the description box. If you want to visit that store, it is an affiliate store. I earn a small commission on any purchases from there, but I just thought I'd let you know that it's in the description box. I'm going to take more of that ribbon from burlapfabric.com, and I'm going to make a pretty simple bow on the larger side because this is a large sign, so I wanted to kind of complement the size overall. I'm just going to tie it in the middle and then hot glue it to the bottom of the sign. Now I'm going to add these evergreen picks that I got on Amazon. Again, they are in my store. I'm just going to place a couple on the top just to kind of add a little bit of fullness to the decorative area. And here comes the moss, guys. The moss is the star of today's video. I'm going to add a whole bunch of hot glue right in the center of the bow, and I'm going to start placing some of this moss. Again, I want it to look as natural and organic as possible. So I'm just going to start pressing it, making sure that it kind of looks like it's been growing from the middle of the bow out. I'm going to add another little like golden little touch. I don't know why, I just feel like that golden tone just looks so good and complements that green color. And again, just adding pine cones, I just think it adds more to the rusticness to it. And then to finish it off, I'm going to hot glue a little red bell just to add a little bit of that red tone. And look how beautiful this sign is. And it is heavy duty. I did add a claw hook to the back so I can hang it, and it is just stunningly beautiful. All right, moving along to the next DIY, I'm going to take this thrifted candle holder. It was actually 3 of them. I recently did, or earlier in the Christmas season, I updated one of them, and this one I just want to, again, just keep in that rustic kind of farmhouse mossy theme. I don't know what to call it. So I'm going to place a pillar candle right on top. I think the candle holders are supposed to be placed, these particular one, the other way around where the candle goes inside the candle holder. But I want to do this differently, and I'm going to place the candle on top. So flip it over, and then I'm going to add hot glue all around the little space area between the candle holder and the candle, and start adding the moss. Again, keeping it very natural looking, almost like it's been growing out. All right, so keeping everything very cohesive, I'm going to add more of those evergreen frosted picks, the ones that are on the smaller side, and I'm just going to hot glue a couple there. I'm also going to add some of that um, golden tone berries that I've been adding to the decor, as well as a pine cone. And then we'll be done with this one. It is so simple, so easy, but what a beautiful addition to this little vignette of decorations using moss. I just love this candle.
And the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas. It's a magic time. You can feel it in the air, that every child got their hearts filled up with joy. Yes, it's Christmas.
So now I'm going to take this jar that I thrifted. It is a regular jar. It almost looks like a mason jar, but it's not. It is almost like a pasta sauce jar, but they had all of these and they were all like beautiful and a good size. So I grabbed them. They were 49 cents each. So I'm going to do the same thing and keep them in the same moss theme. I'm going to add moss first, and then I'm going to add this floral foam, which I'm having a hard time there. And that is just to add a little bit of height, because I'm going to be adding a votive candle that you see there on the screen. And I'm going to keep adding moss. Now, I did struggle a little bit here because, again, my hand doesn't fit in there. My daughter's hand fits, but mine doesn't. So I'm trying to just kind of, again, just make it look very natural as I can, using my scissors, using picks to kind of push them down. I want the foam to be covered all around, and again, just making it look very natural.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe.
Now I'm adding more of those frosted little picks. They're just so cute. And I want these to kind of be pressed, because I want them to be seen through the glass. So I want them to be pressed against the glass, but again, look very natural. And there's my daughter helping me placing the candle. So I'm just going to place the candle right in the middle. And then I'm going to place a little bunch of golden berries in between the frosted picks, just to add that little golden tone. And then I'm just going to wrap some jute twine around the top, just to, again, keep it in the rustic kind of look. And that's it for this one, guys. Another easy one, although it gave me a little bit of a hard time, but it is very simple. And again, what a beautiful addition to this little vignette of decor that I am creating here. Absolutely beautiful.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before. As they walk
I redid one of these door panels. I got a pair of these at the thrift store, and maybe about a month and a half ago or so, I redid another one similar to what I'm doing, just giving it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white. But this time around, I'm going to make it more of a sign rather than a kind of like the one I did for fall had a wreath in the middle. And this one will be more a sign for Christmas. So like I said, I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint, let it fully dry. And then we're using my hand sander. I am going to sand down particularly more the edges, giving it a farmhouse style look.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We toe, and I've gotten you a present.
While I was on Pinterest the other day, I saw this phrase, true love was born in a manger, which I think is absolutely a beautiful phrase, and it inspired me to create this sign. I used my Cricut to cut this phrase, and I'm just going to transfer it onto the bottom right of the sign.
That I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I longed for this moment to have you for myself, in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I longed for this moment to have you for myself, in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one.
I am now going to add some florals and details with a Christmas theme. These greenery style picks, I believe I thrifted them, but it's been so long ago. It's probably been almost a year now. So I don't remember where exactly they came from, but I do have several of them left over, and I thought it would be very appropriate for this little sign. I'm going to create a swag for the top, kind of like hang it from the knob of the door. These little berries I recently thrifted as they were part of a wreath that I thrifted recently, and I just cut off the berries from a pick that it had, and I'm just going to secure them there in the center with some wire, and then I'm going to secure the swag onto the knob, again using wire and hot glue.
I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I longed for this moment to have.
I'm going to use this burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to create a simple bow and then hot glue it right in the center of the swag.
It's white outside, and the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas. It's a magic time. You can feel it in the air, that every child got their hearts filled up.
This golden tone glittery reindeer I just got recently, like literally this week at Dollar Tree, and I just thought it was beautiful, and it adds just that farmhouse style. I don't know, it's just beautiful. I really loved it. So I hot glued it there, and that's what it turned out to be. I love simplicity. If you follow me and have seen my videos, you know that I love things that are simple, clean, and this is the epitome of that. I love it, and I love the farmhouse Christmas feel it has.
with joy. Yes, it's Christmas all around. Oh, snow is falling down.
All right, guys, so I thrifted this star several months or several weeks ago, I should say. And I just love how sturdy and firm it is. And I just quickly knew that I wanted to use it for Christmas. It is a Christmas theme star already. I just want to give it a fresh new farmhouse look. I removed the little, oh my gosh, hanging little hook thing that it had. And I also drilled a hole for a rope that I'll be threading through here in a little bit. But before that, I am going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red.
Lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
Once the paint was dry, I am now going to distress it using my stenciling brush and Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And I'm just going to dry brush some of the details, particularly like on the edges, so that way it just has a farmhouse look, but also brings detail and dimension to the star.
This time of year is a time to cheer. Let our loved ones, our family and friends have.
So now I'm going to thread the rope. This is a rope that I got at Amazon. I've had it for a while now. It's a pretty big spool, but you can certainly use any Dollar Tree rope or anything that you may have on hand. I'm just going to tie a knot and just keep it simple, just like that. And now it's time to add some florals to the star. I want to keep it, again, very simple. I'm going to add these leaves. They're from the Dollar Tree. I used them more for my summer decor, but I think that deep hunter green would look so Christmassy, and I love it. Almost reminds me of magnolia leaves. And then I'm going to add a very simple pine cone to the center of it. And we're going to call it a day, guys. This is just, again, simple, but love the farmhouse style it has.
Have a Christmas with so much love and with joy and laughter. Let us make memories that stay forever. It's Christmas today. All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town.
3 of these little candle, I think they're meant for like votive candles. I just knew I wanted to do something for Christmas, but I'm only going to do 1 of them today. I'm going to spray paint it white using Rust-Oleum spray paint in the flat white. And I'm going to give it 1 kind of like medium to heavy coat of it and then let it fully dry. And once it dried, I realized that it had still some of the dark show through, and I actually really liked it, so I left it like that. I'm going to take this burlap ribbon from burlapfabric.com, and I am going to cut a piece to fit around the candle holder and hot glue it in place.
Outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
I am now going to use some more of those berries that I used earlier, but this time I'm going to use just a whole little bunch right there, and I'm going to hot glue it to the front of the candle holder.
All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
And just to add a little bit of detail, I'm going to do a simple bow using jute rope, and I'm going to hot glue it to the stem of the berries.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear.
And then to finish it off, I'm going to take the red tape. I think this is more like crafting decorative tape and I'm going to add a strip of it to the bottom of the candle. This candle is from Dollar Tree, and we're done. I mean, I think this is very simple DIY, but what a beautiful candle holder and candle decor to add to any table, centerpiece, mantle. I just think it looks beautiful. This is it for today. There is a ton of thrift store flip here inspiration for you, but I would love to hear which one is your favorite or which one inspired you the most. Maybe recreate something of your own in your home, or maybe something you've thrifted. If this is your first time visiting, thank you so much for watching and welcome. I hope you consider joining our YouTube family. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I am going to have a playlist here with tons more of inspiration for you. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.